When it comes to cannabis retail, how you name your products, well, it's about so much more than just keeping things organized. It's really about control, about visibility, and at the end of the day, it's about your performance. A solid naming convention is basically the backbone of your entire operation, and today we're going to explain exactly how to get it right. So let me ask you something right off the bat. Is your menu right now actively costing you sales? Now, I know that sounds a little dramatic, but honestly, if your product names are a total mess, you could be losing customers and money without even realizing it. The link between messy names and a leaky sales funnel, it's very, very real. And this just illustrates the point perfectly. On the left, you've got pure chaos. GP Cookie and Gary Payton 3.5G. They're the same product, but to a customer, or even worse, to your inventory system, they look like two totally different things. And don't get me started on LR Vape Bloom. What does LR even stand for? Now look to the right. It's clean, it's predictable, and it's searchable. This isn't just about looking neat. It's about making your products findable and your inventory actually manageable. So, let's get to the core of the issue here. Unlike pretty much every other industry out there, cannabis has no universal standard for naming products. And that creates this huge ripple effect of chaos that touches everyone: dispensaries, producers, e-commerce platforms, you name it. And these examples, they're not just made up. We see this kind of stuff all the time. Is LR live resin or live rosin? Because those are two very different products with two very different price points. Is UD shorthand for the strain underdog, or is it something else entirely? This constant guesswork just leads to frustration and mistakes for everybody involved. And look, the consequences here are pretty severe. We're not talking about a minor annoyance. You're looking at confused customers who can't find what they want, menu integrations that are constantly crashing, and an inventory system that is a complete and total nightmare to track. All of this leads directly to missed sales, and frankly, it just makes your business look unprofessional. This isn't just housekeeping, people. This is operational survival. But there is a cure, and it's surprisingly simple, yet incredibly powerful. It is all about introducing consistent naming conventions. So, what are we actually talking about here? A naming convention is really just a set of rules that you create and then you follow. It's a template that makes sure every single product name includes key details, like the brand, the category, the weight, in the same predictable order, every single time, no exceptions. The easiest way to think about it is like a recipe. You have your components, right? And you always put them together in the exact same sequence. So brand, then product type, then the strain, the dominance, and finally the weight. Using this recipe, that messy GP cookie becomes cookies, flour, Gary Payton, H, 3.5 grams. It's instantly understandable to a person and, maybe even more importantly, to a computer system. Okay, so we get the what. Now let's talk about the why. Why does the system win? Well, it all comes down to some really tangible benefits that are going to directly impact your bottom line. There are three huge wins here. First, searchability and SEO. When products are named consistently, customers can actually find them on your website or on third-party menus like Weed Maps or Leafly. It's a game changer. Second, inventory accuracy. Fewer duplicate SKUs mean cleaner data, better reporting, and a much lower risk of compliance violations. And finally, brand integrity. You're not butchering brand names with weird abbreviations, which helps your partners and builds a ton of trust. To really get a grip on how powerful this is, let's actually step outside of cannabis for a second and look at an industry that has had this figured out for decades: car dealerships. I mean, think about how cars are sold. It's Ford, then it's a Ford Mustang, then it's a Ford Mustang GT. See how each step adds more clarity? We can apply the exact same model to cannabis. You start with the brand, Bloom, then the category, Bloom Vape, then the specific type, Bloom Vape Live Rosin, and you just keep going. Each piece of information helps the customer zero in on their choice faster and with way more confidence. It's not overkill, it's clarity. Okay, so this all makes sense in theory, right? But how do you actually put it into practice? Let's get into the prescription, a real actionable plan for both retailers and brands. All right, for you retailers, it all starts with creating and then actually enforcing those templates. Use clear, simple abbreviations for phenotypes, like I for indica, S for sativa. And please, stop shortening brand names. And for those products that change strains all the time, you might want to look into using bucketed SKUs to simplify your backend. And for all you brands out there, you are a crucial part of making this work. When you submit your products to retailers, give them the full, properly formatted name right from the start. Include all the key details in your documentation. The goal here is to make it absolutely effortless for a dispensary to plug your product into their system without any guesswork. So let's bring it all home. What's the ultimate payoff here? Because implementing a system like this is about so much more than just being organized. It's really about professionalizing your entire operation. So if you remember one thing from this, make it this. Poor naming isn't some small problem you can ignore. It is a significant business liability. It creates friction for your customers, it introduces errors into your inventory, and it weakens your brand recognition across the board. And I want to end on this idea, which I think is just so powerful. A consistent naming system doesn't just help you stay organized, it helps you move product, stay compliant, and look professional while you're doing it. And in this industry, that goes a long, long way. So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. Take a hard, honest look at your menu and your inventory system. Is it built for survival and for growth, or is it just contributing to the chaos? The choice, really, is yours.